Hi, I'm Ken Chisholm, and I'm your host for Real Mainframe Stories. This is episode 1 of a 3-part series on why and how to tackle mainframe security. Working with executives from some of the largest organizations in the world, I'm often asked one simple question. Why would I worry about the security of my mainframe when I have thousands of other devices that are probably more vulnerable? That's a great question. Most risk and audit professionals don't even pay attention to the mainframe. Then I tell them about a conversation I had with the CIO of one of the 3 largest credit card companies in the world. If I get a call in the middle of the night, he said, and my team tells me that a Windows server farm has gone down, I thank them for the call and ask them to provide an update in the morning. Same thing if a Unix system goes down. But if they tell me my mainframe is down, I'm out of bed and on my way into the office. His perspective emphasizes one key point. If you have a mainframe in your organization, it's probably your most business-critical computer system with the most critical data that your organization relies on. Credit cards don't work, bank accounts can't get accessed, packages don't get tracked, planes don't fly, trains don't move. Lots of bad things happen when mainframes stop. But what about security for the mainframe? Mainframes are some of the most protected computer environments. In fact, most mainframe teams think everything is fine. Their mainframe's identity and access management systems are second to none, and they're right. But successful mainframe attacks happen more often than you may think, usually by people with mainframe skills. For example, a mainframe development manager in the UK was quite proficient in mainframe skills. He knew their mainframe had a database configuration issue that could be exploited, and he worked for a very large bank that had lots of money in its accounts. This mainframe development manager decided he would pilfer some of those accounts and start a new lifestyle: fancy meals, extravagant golf outings, and a very fancy car. He spent about $2.5 million in ill-gotten gains before he got caught and was sentenced to 7 years for his fraudulent activities. Here's another example. You wouldn't think that working for a government agency would put you in much of a position to attack a mainframe for financial gain, but in 2019, a group of employees in South Africa managed to get access to their mainframe's 36-digit primary encryption key, giving them the ability to decrypt the government's bank operations and modify banking systems. They created more than 25,000 fraudulent transactions, stealing more than $3.2 million from customer accounts. In the end, the bank discovered the fraudulent transactions and had to reissue over 12 million new bank cards, costing the government over $55 million. But mainframe attacks are certainly not limited to insider jobs. A still undisclosed bank was recently the victim of an elaborate attack led by a team that leveraged social engineering. A reach out for a job position enticed a systems programmer with a very lucrative opportunity at another organization. But the file attached to the offer included a key logging mechanism revealing login credentials for the mainframe to the team of attackers. That attack team landed malware on the mainframe that encrypted the files and rendered their data inaccessible with an expensive ransomware request. Even though the bank was able to recover and bring their operations back online within a few days, it still cost the bank tens of millions of dollars. One last story on mainframe security. A colleague recalls a mainframe security exercise at a very large financial institution in the US. Their multi-million-dollar security operations center had a wall of digital screens that kept the security team updated to the minute. Early in the afternoon, this professional knocked on the door of the Chief Information Security Officer, the CISO. "We're ready to start vulnerability testing on the mainframe," he said. "So if your phone starts ringing, you'll know it's us. Thanks for the heads up, said the CISO, and the testing team began their work. Later that afternoon, the security professional knocked on the door of the CISO. Sir, we've completely compromised your mainframe. We have access to the data, and we can shut down your entire mainframe operation with just a few more keystrokes. The CISO rose from his chair. He looked at his security team. He looked at the screens. Nobody was panicked. Everybody was just going about doing their normal jobs. That's when the CISO picked up the phone, called his administrative assistant and said, "Cancel my meetings for this afternoon. I have an urgent issue that I need to take care of right away." There are many more stories like that, but in a nutshell, that's why mainframe security. All these mainframes had the best login security systems in place, but as you can see, this isn't the way attackers think. Attackers look for vulnerabilities, then do their dirty work. What wasn't in place were two key things. One, the ability to detect suspicious activity as it's happening, and two, the ability to know ahead of time where their mainframe vulnerabilities were. That's how you protect your mainframe, the most business-critical part of your organization. But who has the expertise to even know where to look for mainframe vulnerabilities, or where to look to find suspicious activity that could indicate your mainframe is being compromised? We'll talk more about that in episode 2, but let me give you a hint. What if you could package the insight from hundreds of years of mainframe security expertise, deliver it into your organization, and deploy that intelligence reviewing your mainframe systems in just a few days? We'll talk next time. If you have a contribution to make to Real Mainframe Stories, email me at realmainframestories@gmail.com. Names and organizations will remain confidential.